One of the other topics that's very hot right now that those of us in the research community are being challenged with is to better understand shopper insights. The path to purchase is evolving. You've heard Google speak about ZMOT and zero moment of truth and the accepted first moment of truth, second moment of truth. Everything is changing. And one of the things that we've been trying to understand is what kind of information and insight can we bring to the retailing community. Well, lo and behold, you go and you do some Xyte work and you profile retailers. And while I will tell you that a large percentage of the population shops at Walmart, clearly, and the research didn't indicate that that's not the case, what it did show was a sharp contrast between the more frequent Walmart shopper and the more frequent Target shopper. Very different and distinct, almost as distinct as Yahoo versus Google I had talked about earlier. And when you actually try to go in and understand what's going on there, it's kind of clear. It makes intuitive sense. Walmart has traditionally, since Sam's early days, been all about lowest price, been all about very concrete kinds of things. You know, they've used their own people in the ads, kind of a family feeling, touching the emotional chord of, you know, we are like you. And in fact, that has resonated with certain profiles much more so than others, where Target or Target has a fundamentally different kind of advertising approach, which is far more contemporary, more focused on fashion and those kinds of things, and it has a differing level of appeal to profiles. And you see it in stark contrast. What's the difference between Target and Walmart? Well, people will give you all sorts of differing ideas about what those differences are, and the retailers themselves struggle to make sure that they comprehend this. Here comes an Xyte profile that adds additional insight and value into how one understands one's audience and traffic as a retailer. You can also then take all the retailers that I deal with, have some sense of their shopper community. They've tried to segment them in different ways. They've used frequent shopper information to try to really comprehend what people do. And what people do is a nice look in the rearview mirror, right? You've got all sorts of data that tells you what they did. The notion of what might they do in the future and how can I influence that, that's what the whole game is about. What Xyte does is to bring forward a really large windshield about what can I do going forward to help get the traffic in the store and further influencing them when they're at the shelf to make a decision to buy. The retailer is satisfied getting the person in the store because they're going to buy. And that's what they do. Brands, once I'm in the store, how can I get them to be more likely to buy my brand? Xyte has all kinds of implications around sets, on-shelf message communication. Remember, it's all about communication and messaging. So if somebody comes to that shelf and needs a very clear and concrete, I want to find X, maybe it's a color scenario, maybe color blocks in your packaging is a different, there's all sorts of ways to assess the current marketing communications that you're already doing by bringing a better understanding of who that human being is standing in front of that shelf, right? And in categories where there's a very high household penetration, you're going to have to appeal to different people in different ways. Very difficult to execute that within a retail environment. Not impossible. And the folks who are doing it better are gaining additional sales. And that's what the whole game is about.